Haste.
Hey, what's up guys? The March content update is finally here, and there's a lot more things that Hopoo added than we expected. I'm not going to cover everything that was changed, but I'm just going over the major updates. So let's get right into it. Like in the previous dev thoughts, they released images of account stats, and they sure did add a lot of features in it. In the stats page, you can look at your lifetime stats on all your previous runs, breaking down which survivor you did the most damage with, to which enemies did the most damage to you. They put it all in this nice little neat pie chart. Next, the new survivor is the Bandit, and he's dank AF. Hopoo did not let us down with the creation of their Bandit. The Bandit gameplay has a very different playstyle that rewards you by getting a 100% critical hit chance when you attack enemies from the back. This, paired with his snipe skill, which resets all your cooldowns if you finish an enemy off with it, provides a very fun playthrough which requires balancing your cooldowns and positioning to get the maximum damage from your skills. Now let's talk about the 5 new items that were added. Joining the Lunar item collection, we now have 2 additional items, the Hooks of Heresy and Essence of Heresy. The Essence of Heresy replaces your special skill with Ruin, which upon activation detonates all Ruin stacks. Ruin is a new debuff that stacks on enemies. The Hooks of Heresy replace your secondary skill with Slicing Maelstrom, which charges a projectile and explodes after 3 seconds. Now, there is a total of 4 Heresy items in the set, and there's a pretty special event that happens when you have all 4 in your inventory. I'll get into that a little bit later on though. The last 3 new items that were added are all boss items. We have the Empathy Cores, Charge Perforator, and Planula. The Empathy Cores summons 2 Solus Probes that damage enemies depending on how many allies you have on your team, so actually stacking drones and turrets now has a benefit. The Charge Perforator has a 10% chance on hit to deal a lightning strike, basically the same as the Royal Capacitor, but even more insane. And lastly, the Planula provides healing from incoming damage. You can think of this more as a heal when you get hit type of item. Next on the list is a new skill variant for 5 of the survivors. Multi, Rex, and Loader got a new special ability. Mercenary and Captain got a new utility. All of these unlocks come with new challenges to complete, so I'm gonna unlock all of these right after I'm done with this video. Onto the enemies, we have a new monster, boss, and elite type. The new monster is the Lunar Chimera Exploder, which is different from the Lunar Chimeras that we usually see on stage 6. The new boss is the Grandparent Boss, but looks a lot different from the models that we've been looking at previously. He spawns on stage 5 and has a very different attack compared to the other bosses. I'm not going to spoil anything, so have fun fighting him. Lastly, the new elite type is called Perfected. Changes to the Lunar Bazaar were made by adding a new interactable Lunar Item Refresher, which allows you to refresh the items available to you. It scales, so your first refresh will cost 1 Lunar Coin, then your second one will cost 2 Lunar Coins, your third refresh will cost 4 Lunar Coins, and so on. Basically, it just doubles every time you use it. And lastly, the final stage was changed entirely with new objectives to complete and a more open map rather than a linear one. I really love this change because the final stage did feel very forced, like follow this bridge all the way to the final boss and that was it. But now, the map has so much more to do in it that you could spend a lot of time completing the objectives to get more items and it would actually benefit you. Alright, so these were all the big changes that were made to the March content update, except one big addition. I mentioned earlier that something happens when you have all 4 Heresy items in your inventory. Hopoo added a secret survivor in this patch, and it's more of a transformation. When you have all 4 Heresy items in your inventory, you'll transform into the Lunar Heretic, which is a new survivor. But don't get your hopes up. You can't start the game with the survivor. You can only play as her if you transform mid-run. She gets all the skills of the 4 Heresy items, a massive health pool increase, and 2 extra jumps. The downside is that your HP will drain over time, and it will kill you. So you have to balance your healing with items, or use the Strides of Heresy very strategically. There were more updates done to the items, interactions, bug fixes, and quality of life updates, so if you want to read more about them, the link to their official patch is down below. Now you guys know all about the changes. I need to go and unlock everything because these updates are out of control. If you want to stay up to date with all Risk of Rain 2 news, consider subscribing. I post content here whenever it happens. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.